Okay, you are on.
Okay, so we started working with the dogs. Now Eddie is the more subordinate dog, and Emma is the more dominant dog. And as frequently happens when I start working with two dogs that have this sort of dichotomy, once the dominant dog is no longer allowed to be the boss and to try to control things, they don't quite know how to deal with things, so they kind of become almost submissive. And the submissive dog, because nobody's checking him, is now being the more aggressive dog, or not aggressive, more assertive. And so that's what we have going on here. So when we were practicing cleaning the doorway, Eddie here would not stop barking and was not respecting it. So what we want to do is the sound of the doorbell is a big, strong trigger. They hear that, they start barking. Now because dogs learn through association, there's a technique called counterconditioning, where we can help the dog identify a positive with something they currently perceive as a negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him just nibble on this one first, just so he gets used to understanding what we're doing. And in a second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him to nibble little pieces of it off. And in a second, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out another treat, and I'm going to let him start to nibble on it. As soon as he starts nibbling on it, I'm going to say this number. Now, we came up with codes. Every time I say a number, that's going to be a signal for her to ring the doorbell one time. So now he's gotten the concept, just because I'm holding a treat doesn't mean he can't nibble it. So I'm going to start him nibbling first, and while he's nibbling on it, then we're going to ring the doorbell. So he's going to hear the doorbell at the same time that he's getting something really desirable. I'm using the leash to prevent him from running around, because the more the dog moves around, the more aroused they typically get, and that intensifies their reaction. Okay, let's go ahead and start. 3. I wanted to go to another number there, but he was kind of chortling under his breath, so that's telling me that he's ready to go off. All right, let's try it again. 7. You like this game, huh, Eddie? Come here, buddy. Eddie. 12. Now, see, he's trying to move around, but because he's been blocking him from doing it with the leash, he doesn't have to do that, so he's not getting as ramped up as he was previously.
Plus, he's got a treat he's tripping on.
So he's happy.
He's got a lot going on in that little head.
So always get your treat ready and let the dog nibble on it before you start the whatever the trigger is.
So he knows that it's there for real, the
5.
temptation.
So a tiny little burp of a bark, and that was about all
kind of blew that one off, yeah.
6. 9. 11.
His head is so somewhere else, huh?
Yeah, well, he's associating. The bell rings, I get treat. Can we get some people to ring the bell more? Now, he's still between two minds, so he's still, I should bark, maybe I shouldn't bark. 2. That was on me. He wasn't nibbling the treat before I started.
I'm surprised Emma's not barking, even if she's out there.
Well, again, she just doesn't know how to process it, because what she normally dealt with was getting corrected and was blocked. So now she's coming up with a new way of dealing with it, which is just, I'm just going to observe. 7. 11. 3. Oh, wow, you got the whole one there. You got my finger all slobbery. Oh, you didn't take that one. What's up with that, Eddie? There's a treat right there. You're going to leave that? All right, let's try it again. So now he's waiting. He's kind of figured it out. So that's why we're
He's waiting for the bell to ring to take.
I want him nibbling on it first. Make it a little bit easy. Oh, there you go. Yeah, now he got the... Oh.
He just dropped it again. That's so weird.
Well, once they get too intense into something, they won't take food.
Yeah.
So that's why we're giving them a chance. I'm not letting him run around, but I want him to kind of settle down. There we go. 4. 6. 1. Now I'm saying numbers because if I keep on saying bell, after a while he associates that one command word with this. So if we come up with numbers or letters, blue colors, whatever you want to use, so it can change it each time. So he never knows what the signal is going to be. He just hears the human talking. So this is counter conditioning. What I would have you guys do is practice this a couple of times a day. You shouldn't take longer than maybe a minute, 2 minutes tops. You're gonna ring it 5 or 6 times, and do it throughout different parts of the house. I don't know where your doorbell is. It sounds like it's up there by the stairs. So gradually you want to get closer and closer to the doorbell. That's going to make it more and more intense, and he's going to be harder for him to keep track or to not react. But eventually he starts associating. When the doorbell rings, I get a high value treat. I don't have a problem with that, and then the barking is subsided.
So will he come look for a treat when a doorbell rings?
Well, not necessarily, because we're providing it. 7, 9. So this is going to take a little bit of time before it becomes really a habit.
So what do we do first in the training? This or the walking boundary thing?
Both.
This at the same time?
Well, not at the same time, but I would practice this a couple times more just so that they stop reacting so strongly when they hear the doorbell.
And then also
when he's
do
not
this.
as intense, then it's going to be easier. And this one should be easier because it's easy for you to see where the line is. It's easy for him to see where the line is. Okay, so that's a quick little summary of how we can do some counter conditioning and stop the dog from ringing the doorbell.
Cool.